Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a technological shift that is literally rewriting the rules of global conflict. We're taking a deep dive into the massive, heavily funded integration of artificial intelligence into military operations. And look, we're not just talking about faster computers here. We're talking about a radical, fundamental paradigm shift in exactly how lethal decisions are made, both on and off the battlefield.
All right, let's jump right in. You know that classic NRA slogan, right? Guns don't kill people, people kill people. Well, today, we need to look at this from a totally different angle. We aren't being political here. We're just asking a literal, mechanical question based on the data. What actually happens when the weapon itself walks up to a target, aims, and decides to fire?
What if that age-old slogan is suddenly, literally wrong? We're no longer talking about some sci-fi movie set in the distant future. We are talking about the very real, rapidly growing role of artificial intelligence inside the U.S. military. And honestly, militaries all over the globe right now. The tech is already here. So the most pressing question we have to face is, what happens when these autonomous systems make a mistake?
Section 1. The AI defense boom.
Let's start by looking at the sheer scale of this transition. We're living through an era of explosive AI growth, and that enthusiasm has found a very comfortable, very well-funded home inside the Pentagon. They've officially embraced what they call an AI-first approach to warfare, and the numbers are staggering. The Defense Department has publicly allocated at least $75 billion to AI-driven programs since 2016, and you gotta remember, that is just the public figure. Classified efforts likely push that number way, way higher. This money is flooding into everything from massive data analysis and surveillance programs to developing actual swarms of autonomous jet skis that can strike targets with barely any human input. And man, defense contractors are seeing absolute windfalls from this shift. Take Palantir, for example. They posted a fourth quarter revenue in 2025 of nearly $1.5 billion, $1.5 billion in one quarter. That's a 70% jump year over year. And it's not just the US either. Adversaries like Russia and China are pouring conservative estimates of billions of dollars into this as well. We are actively in the middle of a global AI space race, but instead of aiming for the moon, the target is each other.
Section 2. Automating the kill chain.
So all these massive financial investments are driving some crazy rapid technical shifts. But what does that actually mean for human lives on the ground? Well, to really get the stakes here, we first need to define a crucial piece of military jargon. The kill chain is basically the military process of identifying a target, locking onto it, and ultimately making the decision to strike. Traditionally, human beings have occupied every single step of this chain. Removing humans from this specific process, that's exactly where the greatest moral and practical risks of military AI lie.
It all boils down to contrasting two totally different approaches to critical combat decisions. On side A, you've got human judgment. Now, humans make mistakes, for sure, especially in the chaotic split-second fog of war. But humans possess humanity, context, empathy. On side B, you have AI speed. AI can make decisions so much faster and at a massive, massive scale. But here's the catch. If the information the AI is receiving is wrong, it is often persuasively wrong. And an AI operating at massive scale based on persuasively wrong data, that leads to incredibly rapid, tragic results.
Section 3. AI on the battlefield.
All right, let's take this from theory to reality. Because this tech isn't just sitting in some lab waiting for testing. It's actively being deployed in global conflicts right now. The Pentagon actually reports using AI in Iran through a highly automated process that brilliantly illustrates how heavily they're leaning into this today. Step 1, generate hundreds of strike options. Step 2, locate those targets. Step 3, rank their priority. And Step 4, and this is the really wild one, assess their legal viability. Yeah, and AI is actively evaluating whether a lethal strike is legally acceptable.
And we're seeing this global adoption everywhere. Based on our source data, there's evidence that Anthropic's Claude tool was actually utilized in the military raid in Venezuela that captured Nicolas Maduro. Furthermore, Israel has come under really deep scrutiny for utilizing AI to prepare strikes in Gaza, which have resulted in thousands of civilian casualties. These are stark, real-world examples happening today where human judgment is being outsourced to algorithms in incredibly high-stakes environments.
Moving on to Section 4, bringing the tech home. Here's where it gets really close to home. History shows us that military technology almost always pivots to domestic application eventually, and AI is proving to be absolutely no exception. Back in April, the Homeland Security Department awarded a $30 million contract to Palantir.
You know, that same defense contractor we talked about earlier that is profiting so heavily from the military AI boom.
And what exactly is that $30 million contract for? It's to build an artificial intelligence-backed system designed to help find and track individuals right here at home for deportation. Think about that for a second. There is very little stopping the sophisticated tracking and targeting tech developed for literal war zones from crossing right over into domestic surveillance. The exact same systems used to locate targets overseas are actively being adapted for use on everyday streets.
Section 5. The moral cost. So, as we look at all these massive financial investments and the lightning-fast deployment of this tech, we have to talk about the loss of human accountability. There's a quote from the source material that just hits the nail on the head. The more you remove humans from the kill chain, the easier it becomes to remove humanity from the equation as well. It's chilling, right? Because when an algorithm decides who's a threat, who pulls the trigger, and who gets tracked, the moral weight of those actions gets totally diluted. It becomes a system of mere data points rather than actual human lives.
So I want to leave you with this final thought to really chew on. As this technology gets refined in the brutal reality of war, it becomes incredibly easy to deploy it absolutely everywhere else. What is the ultimate cost of building systems that naturally treat everyone, whether they're on a battlefield or just walking down the street, as a potential target? It's a question we desperately need to answer as this AI revolution unfolds. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.